Welcome to the Sewing Machine Repair Guy. In this video I'm going to show you what not to do when adjusting a serger. I did not understand the operation of this machine when I was adjusting the upper looper, and I've learned a lot from this machine because I made so many mistakes. I hope you'd like to come learn with me as we work on this Jaguar Epochlock 298D serger. The operation of this serger is similar to most sergers, which is why I'm scratching my head. I'm not sure where my brain was when I was looking at this machine and working on it. Anyway, come learn with me as we work on the serger. I've already cleaned and lubricated the machine, now it's time for adjustments. Alright, I'm going to try and show you how far our timing is off, or maybe not timing, but adjustment is off right now. As I'm lowering the needles, you can see the lower loopers coming over. It's going right behind those needles to catch the thread. And the needles come up, and then you have the upper looper, which comes by underneath. So the needles should catch that thread on the upper looper right there. And then as it continues back, the upper looper now contacts the needle. See that needle deflecting? So this customer was having problems with needles breaking, and that right there shouldn't be happening. I shouldn't have contact there on those needles. So now I'm going backwards because I can't go forwards, otherwise I'm going to break that needle. So I need to adjust that the upper looper. The lower looper I believe is okay. It's very close to those needles. I don't believe it contacts those needles. So I think we're okay, but the upper looper definitely contacts that needle right there. Now here's a little bit of a better angle. Here we go. Upper looper is coming underneath those needles. Now the needles are coming down, and now the upper looper contacts that needle. You see how that bends that needle like that? Yeah, that's not what you want. So there is an adjustment. I'm trying to figure out the best place for you to see me adjust this. It might be I have the camera right there. So there's an Allen screw right on top. I loosen that a little bit. I think I can just bend or turn this. Or not. It may be keyed in there. So there's a plan B. This is why we're learning together. Okay. Plan B it's going to be right down there. It's that arm that comes up. This arm comes up. So if this comes out a little bit on the shaft right here. So if I loosen this screw right here and I pull this out on the shaft, this comes out, then up here should go back, or in, I guess. If I'm saying out here, this side will go in to give you a little bit more room on those needles up there. So let's try this. This also affects the timing of that upper looper, so I want to make sure that I'm not moving it forward or back, just in and out. All right, so let's try this over here. You're not gonna be able to see this, but I've got this gigantic Phillips head screwdriver that I like to use for things like this. Yep. All right, now. It does move. Who knew? All right, so I was thinking this thing was keyed, but it's not. It's got a pretty drastic hook on there. I'd be interested to see if possibly that's been bent, but these things are usually hardened and they'll break before they bend. Haha, okay. The spring is, when you try to go this that way, it won't, but it will go the other way, which is what was keeping us from adjusting this. I see. Because as soon as you go the other way, you're loosening the spring. And okay. Okay, so the correct way that this is supposed to go. Lower looper comes down behind the needles. You can see the thread it caught the thread from the needles right there. Lower looper is coming this way. The upper looper is coming behind the lower looper. Upper looper comes behind the lower looper, just like this, grabs the red thread that was going through the lower looper. Comes up. The needles grab the blue thread from the upper looper, and then you get a knot. The next thing we're going to be doing are some tensions. So this is the first fabric we're going to send through here. What I did was I ran a little bit to get a few knots through. We're going to see if we're cutting, and we're going to see if we're looping correctly, and then see what our tensions look like. I set everything halfway, so everything's on 5 all the way across for our tensions. Okay, it's a good first run. We're making knots when the fabric's not in there. That's the back side. Front side, I've got knots and then they stop making knots. Well, this video was how not to adjust a Jaguar Epochlock 298D serger. Tune in to the next episode to see me actually finish adjusting this machine correctly. I figured I'd show my good times and bad times on these videos. I try to learn something new from each machine, and this one was definitely not an exception. Thanks for learning with me, and make sure you subscribe. It helps a lot.